Okay, quick post-mortem on the AL and NL championships before we get into the World Series. And these were interesting because both favorites, the Yankees and Phillies, lost for pretty much the same reason. That being that their offenses failed to show up as advertised. Or to put it another way, they forgot to put on their man pants. Particularly the Yankees that showed up once again for the postseason with baseball's best offense. They led the majors in scoring, averaging 5.3 runs a game, and scored just under 6 runs a game in sweeping the Twins out of the ALDS. But against the Rangers, they were able to average only 3 runs over 6 contests. And in 3 of the Ranger 4 wins were held to 2 runs or less. Now, their most glaring underachieving performers were the All-Stars, A-Rod and Mark Teixeira, which again goes to show that in a short series, pretty much anything can happen, and it did. But there were other factors at work here, and we've talked about them before. The Yankee pitching, for example, was suspect heading into the postseason. And it was torched by a healthy Ranger offense that averaged over 6 runs a contest for the entire series. We talked about Colby Lewis, who had beaten the Yankees twice during the regular season. Cliff Lee was terrific in the one game he pitched, but it was Lewis who beat the Yankees twice again and wound up being the Rangers' best pitcher. But finally, it was the Yankees heading into Game 4 after losing to Lee, going to a game a matchup that I pretty much thought was theirs to lose. It was A.J. Burnett against Tommy Hunter. The offense failed to show up again. They lost. They went down 3-1, and for all intents and purposes, they were done. Now, the Phillies found themselves in the same boat in that they were one of the NL's best offensive teams. They were second in NL scoring, but all throughout the postseason, they were anemic. In fact, had it not been for all of the gift runs given to them by a fumbling Cincinnati defense in the NLDS, they would have averaged less than 3 runs a game. Ryan Howard, who drove in 26 runs over the last 2 years in the postseason, failed to notch a single RBI. He batted .305, and the main reason he didn't drive any runs was probably due to the fact that he was the only Philly regular who hit over .226. Simply put, aside from their pitching, they were awful. They hit .176 with runners in scoring position, and their defense left a lot to be desired. But we're going to give some credit here to some very good Giant pitching as well, both out of the rotation and the bullpen. The Giants led the majors in ERA and strikeouts for the year, and they were lethal again in the postseason. Matt Cain has yet to give up an earned run in just under 14 innings, and of course Tim Lincecum has a sub-2 ERA in just under 24 innings. Now, in this series, the Giant offense wasn't any better than that of the Phillies. In fact, Philly outscored them by 3 runs. The difference being is that the Giants have been playing these close, low-scoring contests all year long and were able to eke out 3 one-run games of their 4 victories. So, I was wrong in both of my championship series calls. The one I feel worst about is the Rangers because I really felt they had a chance to beat the Yankees. Should have called that one. I'm giving the Rangers the edge in the World Series because I think they have more ways to win than the Giants do, even though I think the Giants have the pitching to shut down anyone in a short series. It should be an interesting matchup. If you want a little more detail on how I see it, tune in to the next vlog we show because right now I am out of here.